What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Don't have a lot to say here at the intro. Obviously, whatever the hell happened with Philly here today, Tobias Harris, 16.5, minus 105. Gets bet up to 17.5, minus 110. Closes at 20.5, minus 125 because Joel Embiid gets ruled out. We have the best closing line value you could ever ask for a prop, and they're down 27 right now in the third quarter. I mean, probably not coming back in this game. I don't really know what to say. I had some other really good calls. I mean, Goga was out there, only ended up playing 22 minutes because of like a ridiculous blowout, wonky run there at the end where they didn't need him on the floor to close, so he doesn't close. I mean, it's just dick kick after dick kick here in the NBA. But you know what? The thing is, I work hard at it, and NBA has been my most profitable sport for 7 years. I know a lot of you there who enjoyed my work from the MLB street saying, oh, you're a hack in the NBA. No, generally NBA, it's the most projectable of the sports and generally the softest. And you get news that breaks your way. You make good decisions like the Tobias Harris play, where it just makes all the sense in all the world. It gets bet up even before Embiid gets ruled out of nowhere, and then there's a blowout. It's like, I can't do anything about it, but it guts me because it's my money, it's your money, it's all of our money, and I care a lot about being able to be successful for you, and when I'm not, it sucks. And so there's not really any fun, cutesy intro. I'm generally a really happy-go-lucky person, but last 4 days have been really, really brutal, but you know, that comes with the territory. It's a responsibility I have to stay on it, to not necessarily check out, to just say, you know what, I'm going to just phone it in here today because I have other stuff going on. No, I work hard every single day at trying to make you as much money as possible. And it just sucks. This really, really sucks. Anyway, BetMGM, they're a sponsor of our program. You can sign up for Odd Chopper, $14.95 for a week. $49.95 for a month, but we'll talk about everything a little bit later. We got 9 games here to break down. I put in the work here for you. We got to stay. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Going to be a little trepidatious here with this one. Portland, Cleveland here on tap. Obviously, both sides exponentially healthier than what they were before. Dean Wade, the only piece of the rotation on the Cleveland side who's out, and really he doesn't matter because he doesn't do stats. He decides to go out and run cardio for 30 minutes a game when he's there. But anyway, Portland 11.5. This is perfectly efficient. And obviously the difference between your play-in game Tuesday, where you're going to have Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley out there in the fourth quarter, and then this one, that's a regular season Thursday game. Not going to be a whole lot to mine out of this one. I worked through a couple of the props, thought we might find something there, but alas, earwax. That is a Harry Potter joke, and not really even a joke. I'm not really feeling those right now. We got Cleveland minus 11.5. The best projected play I have here, just going to be a lean, not going to be doing anything with this game more than likely. Going to do something here because Charlotte, Brooklyn, I'm a little bit confused what's going on with the books here, but we'll talk through it. Charlotte, 7.5 point dogs. It's not that side that we're looked at. LaMelo Ball, bad news that came out for them today. Right ankle sprain that seems worse than your average bear. That's not great to hear. But Cam Thomas from the Brooklyn side comes back. And Cam Thomas likes to shoot the basketball. And that's where I'm kind of a little bit confused what I'm looking at for some of these Brooklyn props early. Maybe the books hung up kind of like, I mean, this is obviously lower than the 17.5 we've seen of late here. And it's a Charlotte spot that's a pace up spot. So there's that. But like Cam Thomas is going to command the ball. I mean, 26.9 points per game here this season. Ridiculous quantity of shots. And obviously you got moved into that starting unit, 32 plus minutes. Does he enter the starting unit here? I'm not positive. That's kind of a tough one to just throw out and guess on what we're going to get here. But Cam Thomas, 6'5", not exactly like a guard like a lot of people think he is. He's listed as a guard, I suppose, but more like a small forward in terms of size, 6'5", considering Mikal Bridges 6'7". I mean, they're roughly about the same size. Bridges a little bit thinner than that of a Cam Thomas. But as I look at the usage, this has got to go towards a little bit of him here. 31% usage, 96th percentile in the NBA here this season. And that has a trickle-down effect to guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, Spencer Dinwiddie's been playing really, really well of late, but only a 20.1% usage on the entire season as a baseline. And yeah, it's been going up here. The assist rate's gone up with it. And it's a Charlotte spot that's pace up. Spencer Dinwiddie only averaging 14.6 minutes per game, 14.6 points per game, but playing 42, 36, 38, 38 minutes won't necessarily be a requirement here considering Cam Thomas coming back here. So Cam Thomas, not going to be somebody who is fantasy friendly for the people playing DFS, and then also going to be somebody who hinders the production of a Spencer Dinwiddie, even against a Charlotte team that is really bringing nobody to the table to play defense. So as I look at the board here, Terry Rozier, you couldn't guard me, or you. It's not going to be good, but it doesn't matter here. Cam Thomas is going to want to chuck. Pay attention to the starting unit, but I know some of you guys don't like unders. I like the unders just fine. Spencer Dinwiddie, under 16.5 points. Projects out really nicely for me. Assuming Cam Thomas starts, if you want to wait till then, sounds great, but I'm comfortable firing it up now. I talk about it all the time. Tough to really go about these double-digit spreads. The Boston one was sharp. That felt good. Obviously, the play-in tournament implications had something to do with that backing. 11.5 to 12.5. Everybody asking me, would you still back it? Yes, I would in that spot. But I think we might be backing 13 here. In fact, I fired up a little bit on it, but it's fine. Detroit taking on the Knicks, and Detroit on a back-to-back. Cade Cunningham, maybe he rests. Maybe they sit somebody else. Bojan Bogdanovic, they need him back at some point in time here. I'm not sure if he ends up suiting up on Thursday, but doesn't feel likely. It just doesn't feel like something that you would want to do here as a 13-point dog on the road at the Garden. Maybe Bogdanovic, maybe his family's in attendance. I don't know. It just seems like a weird spot for him to make his debut. But Jaden Ivey, not somebody that I'm all that excited to be backing. Asar Thompson getting into more minutes and really like the piece, but this is a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad basketball team that we've been picking on. And even Jalen Duren, you've noticed since his injury, hasn't really been on the card at all for the double-double production. A lot of people wanted me to fire that one up. Eric, we really like his double-double here tonight. I did not like it at any point in time against the Lakers. In fact, like Anthony Davis. And hey, 22.5 PRA for D'Angelo Russell hit instantly, literally a first quarter cash. So even in the midst of feeling like absolute dog shit about Tobias Harris, there are bright spots that show up from occasion here. Hey, it's only a 21-point game there near the end of the third. Can we get Tyrese Maxey to go completely nuclear here? He has 27 points and 1 rebound. That's his counting stats. Whatever. Hi, NBA. Can we get Tobias Harris out there for 6 minutes? Give me a shot at it. Then I can change this frown upside down. But anyway, we're looking at the Knicks, minus 13 here. Julius Randle, somebody that I've been projecting pretty well of late here from a DFS perspective. And now, as far as from a betting perspective, his double-doubles have had some plus money behind it. Somebody decided to point that out to me the other day. And it's like, well, 25, 20, and 5 looks pretty good if it's Julius Randle there against Charlotte. Here against Detroit, we'll see who's active, see if everybody ends up playing on this back-to-back. Gonna wait on that one. But Knicks, minus 13. As soon as I touch down in Vegas tomorrow afternoon, I will be firing this one up. Indy, Miami, over 239.5, just a lean. I really don't want to talk about this game. Obviously, overs. Tyrese Halliburton there. Jimmy Butler, questionable. Pieces that are in flux here. Not a lot that I really want to discuss, so we're going to just go to the next game because, well, it's my show. I can do whatever I want. The Atlanta Hawks taking on the San Antonio Spurs here in this spot. Victor Wembanyama, questionable. That has me very, very highly doubting that he plays basketball here at home, a spot where they could very easily rest him. And when I can kind of guess these kind of spots, this is where we can really, really find some value. Again, he's the only guy from both sides who enters this game as questionable. Every single other person on the Atlanta side healthy, except for Jalen Johnson, because it's not the IR. He's just on the injured reserve. It's just so sad. So sad. Again, I hate bad injuries like that. Jalen Johnson, hopefully his wrist comes back okay, and we can see him playing ball again because, well, he's one of those young players that I really enjoy watching. But I also enjoy watching Victor Wembanyama, and I doubt that he ends up playing basketball here. Maybe he ends up suiting up, but this is really the first time that we've had questions about durability for him and like how many minutes is he playing. He hasn't missed a game yet this entire NBA season. This is his first time that I can remember him showing up on the injury report, which has me leaning towards him being out. Atlanta is facing San Antonio already here on the road, and Victor Wembanyama, one of the more impactful players to their specific team. Not saying that he's somebody who's incredible because he's got a 1.1 expected win share, but that's still 80th percentile in the NBA for a young player who has a 53.1% true shooting percentage, 47.5% effective field goal percentage, which are terrible, which should tell you on the defensive end of the floor, he's making a freaking impact. It's generally what happens when you're 7'4", 210, lanky, long, can block everything from, here to Austin, Texas. That's Victor Wembanyama. Once he starts knocking down his shot a little bit more, and he has a 29.6% usage. It's just one of those things where San Antonio will be fine. They're going to have to recalibrate, and they probably should have got Van Vliet coming into this year. Jeremy Sohan running the point. Great idea, guys. In theory, it's not fun. But as we're looking at this game, this is a lock for me. Atlanta minus 6.5. It's my favorite play that exists on the board besides one other. And it's kind of a combo parlay, so it is what it is. But Atlanta, as I was running the numbers on this, looking at the market-based approach, you've got some spots that have 7s, 7.5s. 6.5 feels like an early spot to jump into. I doubt this closes anywhere remotely close to that if Victor Wembanyama gets ruled out. If he ends up ruled in, probably calibrates somewhere around 7 and just sits there. Doesn't go anywhere. But Atlanta, perfectly healthy, outside of the Jalen Johnson injury for a couple weeks here. But we know what we're dealing with, and that's priced in here. Would have been 8, 7.5. And Jalen Johnson was playing really good ball. But Atlanta minus 6.5. My 1B, if you will, on this card. BetMGM, friends, $1,500 of bonus bets available to you down below. Again, 2 months of Odd Shopper tools and Discord. Yeah, I'm not having the best of weeks, that's for sure, but the Odd Shopper tools and content continue to spew out winners here. You got to be willing to take some unders. You got to be willing to fire up some sports that you might not exactly know a ton about, but guess what? Doesn't matter because that's not really what we're focused on here. We're focused on following sharp sports books and then getting better numbers at other books. And that requires being signed up at DraftKings and FanDuel and Caesars and BetMGM. And plus, you're going to get up to $1,500 depending on what state you're in when you sign up at the link below. So do that. And then get 2 months of the Odd Shopper tools, the positive EV tools, the great opportunity you have to check out Underdog and Prize Pick stuff with the Fantasy Optimizer. We're talking so many great products here at Odd Shopper, in addition to the Odd Shopper Discord access. So friends, get yourself a little bit of that BetMGM. Break yourself off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. If you're 21 and over, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. To the picks we go. The Lakers on a back-to-back taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They obviously, again, I had a lot of really good picks. I think what it is that Tobias Harris, can we get him back on the floor somehow, some way, somehow? Probably not going to happen. Let me refresh this. Is it still 102.81? Sure is. Maybe we'll see him here again. Whatever. Robert Covington's out on the floor, running around, doing wind sprints. That's cool. But I'm looking here at this Lakers OKC game. You know what you're running into with LeBron James. He's going to be listed as questionable more than likely when this comes around. No, I'm not in the mood. But Rui Hachimura out. Jackson Hayes out. Jared Vanderbilt out. Gabe Vincent out. 4 pieces in this Lakers rotation. It's kind of been thinned out to the point where it's like they need these Max Christie starts. They need Cam Reddish out there. And obviously Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell went completely berserk against Detroit, and here on the back-to-back kind of allowed them to rest most of that fourth quarter, and 133-107 comfortable victory against Detroit. Cashed both of those tickets, so that's cool. Whatever. OKC, as we're looking at their side of things, you got Jalen Williams. Just talked about Jalen Johnson, but Jalen Williams, nice to see him play 34 minutes in his first game in 10 days against Minnesota. Basically means to me he's perfectly healthy and good to go here. Chet Holmgren really coming into his own, averaging 18, 8, 2.5, and 2.5, which is just dumb to say because then blocks become part of the equation. Steals per game, nearly a steal per game as well. So defensively, he adds a ton to this basketball team. Of course he does. He's built like Gumpy. I mean, that's what he is. He's Gumby out there playing basketball. And then he can knock down threes at a pretty decent clip, too. 43.1% from 3 on the season. That doesn't suck. Doesn't suck when your 7-3 guy can knock down threes, but you're looking at a Lakers spot where Anthony Davis will be his equation there. It's not very fun. I'm looking at the Lakers money line perhaps for some value if we can get them north of plus 200, but SGA and Giddey for as long as he's going to be in the NBA, and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren and Lou Dort defensively, this is a fun OKC team. They're pretty high valued over on dunks and threes as well. Somebody that you don't want to go out of your way to go pick on when they're fifth in adjusted net rating plus 3.7 yet. I'd be looking at maybe trying to grab the money line as a value piece, but more than likely nothing to find in this game besides props that might show up later. We have Milwaukee. We have Chicago here in this spot. 7.5-point favorites are the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm not a chalk donkey. I try not to play some of these massive favorites in certain spots, but it's really hard to watch anything that we've seen from Chicago and feel inspired to the point that you would want to back them as just 7.5-point dogs here in this spot. You're obviously waiting on what is going to happen with Zach LaVine on the trade market and DeMar DeRozan on the trade market and everybody on this trade market. I feel like Caruso's the guy I would want most if I'm trying to build a winning basketball team. But even he enters this game as questionable. Zach LaVine enters questionable as well. And DeMar DeRozan as well. Again, they're trying to trade everybody and anybody and try to reconstruct this Bulls team. Sounds like they're trying to push for getting rid of LaVine first, but like, LaVine's shooting 33.6% from three this season, 44.3% from the field. His trade value has plummeted down. And if Chicago was planning on getting rid of these guys to begin with, well, you done fucked up by not doing it before the season started. So congrats on that one. But Milwaukee, minus 7.5. I actually like it going their direction. We know Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is one of those things where before the season, you would have saw this. And all these Chicago pieces, I mean, if they sit, if they're trying to move them here in the market in the next week or so, which seems a little bit early, like teams don't need to be pushing it there. The trade deadline is not for like 2+ months, but I think this is just a spot where Milwaukee could close as double-digit favorites pretty easily. Even if everybody gets ruled in, would Milwaukee move to 7, 6? No, they would not. Easy backing for a half unit, Milwaukee minus 7.5. I say that knowing full well I hate this week. This is so clear-cut to me, it's not even funny. The Utah Jazz on the second leg of a back-to-back taking on my Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been absolutely killers at home this season. Yeah, one loss here at home thus far, 13-4 record on the season. We're talking defensively as good as it gets. Second in the NBA in adjusted defensive rating. We've seen them with the second toughest strength of schedule as well. So, like, they've had as difficult of a strength of schedule as you could ever ask for. They're third in adjusted net rating, and second in adjusted defensive rating, and 13-4. Their schedule is only going to get easier, and that begins here with Utah. Now, do you want to back them at minus 425? No. That's not what I'm looking at, but we're seeing Rudy Gobert have, like, a ridiculous season, and I don't think enough people are talking about how good Rudy Gobert has been on the defensive end of the floor. Plus 1.1 defensive win share already, 1.2 estimated win share, 62.4% true shooting, 58.6% effective field goal percentage. That doesn't really matter because you're not asking him to do anything other than finish at the rim and knock down the occasional like bank shot, like I don't even know who I'm thinking of. It's a weird thought Anyway, block percentage sitting there with a 6% block percentage, 95th percentile. Nice to see the bounce back in that from 3.9% last season. He is defending the rim at an elite clip. In fact, brought this up on the show the other day, but the Minnesota Timberwolves, more than half their games, they have held their opponents to 40% from the field or worse, 30% from three or worse. No other team has more than 4 examples of that happening over the course of the season, and it's Boston, so they're pretty good. They have that Drew Holiday fellow. He's good at defense in like a different way. It's different. It's the same, but it's different. Anywho, as I'm looking at the board here for tomorrow, I'm looking at Rudy Gobert double numbers. Now, they've been sitting around minus 150, minus 155. It's going to be a little bit north of that, but if you build this out as a single game parlay, I think you can get some pretty good, decent numbers on it. I was piecing around with it, and again, some of it isn't there's things you have to piece together, but you can get some plus money if you find the right combination of this. And if you can find one leg that you like that has positive AV, or if you can go to the parlay tool over at OddsShopper when you sign up for $15 or what, $14.95 for the week to get the tools and the Discord. Incredible stuff here at OddsShopper to be able to jump into the community and dive headfirst into expected value, being a profitable bettor long-term, not just here in like a shitty 3-day span for me personally. But we've got Ben just smashing soccer every day, thank God. But I'm looking at Utah, I'm looking at Minnesota, and this is going to be a Minnesota team that's going to handle their business at home. Rudy Gobert going up against his former team. Let's just put the two together and call it a day. Rudy Gobert double-double plus Minnesota money line. Lock Button City. Add this to anything you want. Put it with whatever you want. Life is wonderful with Rudy Gobert playing the best ball he has in quite some time. Just keep doing your defensive thing, sir. Golden State makes me sad. That's a lock. And then Golden State money line lean. Look, Clippers on a back-to-back. Golden State, you know I'm mad and I don't want to talk about them. And obviously the 1-point deal. Hey, at least I was able to help everybody in the Discord. We were able to get that. It's not even a hedge. It was the plus 6.5 entering that fourth quarter as it got dicey and you could see Sacramento making a run. And I mean, it was the night before. And obviously that's what? God, almost a 24-hour difference between when I recorded that and when that game was going down. And you got to be able to react to what you're seeing. And obviously what you were seeing was Sacramento coming back into that game. Fucking Draymond Green. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know what I should tail so I can start winning some NBA bets. That would be lovely. Obviously, this is a sport that I love, that I know, and then I know that I'm going to get back on track with. Just sucks when it's obviously in the public eye and when you can't run from it. You got to just embrace it. So we're going to continue to push forward. I'm going to get better and better. That's really what it comes down to. But you can check out BetMGM. Get yourself some access to some free bets. I will be in the great state of Nevada when I record this lovely thing tomorrow. Looking forward to giving you the goodness there. Going to be jumping over to the Wynn, making some bets. Well, I'm going to bounce all over the place wherever I can find the best lines. Get Nevada. You can get your BetMGM dollars down there. Yeah. Got some money to burn. It's going to be good. Producer Jacob's like, yeah, let's chat. Hopefully get a beer with my buddy, Producer Jacob. Thank you so much for all the help. Pretty much all season long, and especially today. I needed the pick-me-up. We're ready to rock. But nice, tight 25 minutes here on this video. Easy enough. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.